We'll call this work session Monday, April 21st to order. Invocation given by Everly Lust and Pledge Allegiance by C.J. Emanuel.
Bow your heads and close your eyes. Dear God, thank you for this day, our city council, mayor, city staff, first responders, and all those who work to make this place we call home such a wonderful city. We pray for wisdom, for strength, for courage to do what is right and good for all citizens. May we put the interest of others above our own. May we act with love for the common good. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. First thing tonight is tourism grant application for the Dragon Boat Races. Miss Mary Kay Carlton.
Well, I was supposed to have a partner tonight, Dawn Pettigill, who we're kind of co-chairman of the Dragon Boat Races. She has, I don't know, fallen, but anyway, she's pulled her back out and her knee. And she hated to beg out, but I said, well, I will be glad to do your part. Her part was supposed to be about the success of last year's Dragon Boat Race. Well, most of you know, I fell and broke my hip on Friday afternoon and was in the hospital getting ready to have surgery the next day, but I sent the three strongest women I know, Nita Tolliver being one of them, and my daughter-in-law and my daughter and another daughter-in-law who kind of, you know, I told them, okay, watch this, do that, you know, and I was still calling some shots from the bed. But we are very pleased with last year's results of the Dragon Boat Race. I'm going to speak about last year's event and then really talk about how we're making a few changes this year. I don't know if, you know, I don't know if you saw this article in the paper back at the beginning of the year, but Scottsboro's Dragon Boat Races were rated one of the top stories of 2024. Now, I think that's pretty good evaluation of the event to have that. And the other comment that it says, Scottsboro Dragon Boat Races unites the community. And this community is not just Scottsboro, we're part of Jackson County, and that was one of the things that I hoped to see, that there would be people coming from not just in Jackson County, but from other places, but it did unite our county. The other thing, as far as evaluation, I saw Judge Graham the other day at a church event, and he said he didn't go, but his daughter did. And she said it was the best thing she ever went to in Scottsboro in her entire life. Now, that's a pretty good recommendation, don't you think?
One has to be careful with what Judge Graham says.
All right. And then also in this article in the paper, and I'm not going to quote it, it mentions the dynamic Dragon Boat staff member who quoted as saying she had never been to a first-time Dragon Boat race that was as organized and well-run and fun, and, you know, it just went off without a hitch. And so I thought that was a pretty good recommendation coming from the staff who come in to do it. So that's a little bit about last year's race, except Jean's going to pass out to each of you a list of the teams that were last year. I thought you ought to see who had a team last year. And I'm just going to, he's going to pass that out. But that was the results on the first sheet, was their first, when they raced the first time. They raced twice, and those top certain number progressed to the finals in the afternoon. Well, you've got the list that shows what their first race was like. I'm going to tell you who ended up winning, and you just kind of look. The Highlands Medical Center Stork Squad came in first. Scottsboro Electric Power Board came in silver, and the Well came in third. The Storks came from sixth place in the first race to win. And Jean, hand out some of those. Oh, you did. Pass the pictures down. That's just a few of the pictures. But that's, and then I wanted, from a financial standpoint, the hospital foundation and Nourish One Child each received $17,232. That's pretty good for a first-year fundraiser, you know, to raise about almost $35,000. Now, I want to talk now about this year's event. We, Lyle at Goose Pond was very, very helpful, one, in preparation for the event last year, but in giving us some good evaluation of things that he suggested, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but we have this year formed committees, and so that more people are involved, and the more people you have involved, the more enthusiasm that it builds. And so we have committees, and in fact, two of them, one of them met out at Goose Pond last week, and in a couple of weeks, two of them are going to meet out there. And we've taken his suggestions. We're moving the food trucks to closer to the tents, and that was just one of the suggestions. This year, we plan to raise at least $20,000 more. And that's our minimum. We feel that's very reachable, which would be $27,000 for both the hospital and they foundation, and they want to use their money to buy more of the stretchers. You know, maybe I have block about being in the hospital, but the stretchers for the operating room. And we, of course, want to continue to be able to provide food for Scottsboro City School children. We went from 405 when we started the school year last September. We're at 450. $4,000 each week is spent buying food to go home to the children. There are 4 food groups, and they receive food from all of those food groups. And it's been going on, this is our 13th year. We had a grant from the county that was a COVID recovery, that ended last August. And so this dragon boat race was designed, when I went to the hospital, I said, we need a partner to be able for us to start to make up that loss of that $50,000 a year. And we have a good board that works very hard and trying to make sure that we spend our money correctly. We have no paid expenses. We have no rent we pay. Everything pretty much goes for food and suitcases, which we just got a recent big donation from Unclaimed Baggage, and they also gave us some suitcases, new suitcases. So they wear out. So that's what the money is going to go to. This year, as I say, we wanted to raise about that money. We have quite a few in-kind donations. New South is getting ready to put up our billboards and run them for 3 months. It'll go up May 1st. Ashley Cologne donates all her photography services. Coca-Cola donates all of the Cokes and the waters that we sell for a small donation. The Well is going to donate a tent for us for over our MCs and our sound system. So that'll save us about $500. And the biggest one we've heard about recently is West Rock. And they say they want to cook for us. Well, I have to, they don't mean 3,000 people, I can guarantee you that. So they would be cooking for the VIP area, which would be the volunteers plus each sponsor, depending upon their level of sponsorship, gets a certain number of people in the VIP tent. So they would be cooking for that. And they say they're going to have steak and chicken, and I thought, well, that's great. But we'll also be working with the docks on some of the food, too. And I think most of you know her husband's battling stage 4 cancer, and so I will talk to her when the time is more appropriate. We have mentioned. That's just a little bit about one of the things, improvement, we didn't want to pay for this, but we have so far gotten 3 churches. And if any of you go to a church that has a van, one of the problems last year, people complained about having to walk so far. We had 3,000 people. We're shooting for 5,000 this year. And our Comfort Inn is our hotel sponsor. They have saved a group of rooms for people who need to stay, the staff coming for dynamic. But we already have a team coming from Georgia. And think we might have one coming from Tennessee, and they will be able to get the cheaper rate at the hotel. So we're excited about this next year. We do use all local vendors whenever possible. And we also paid 2 off-duty policemen to be there. So it's, everything's in progress. Last year, we really didn't get started until June, until we got the contract signed by the hospital. But this year, we've been starting in March, and we're, going to be a whole lot better organized and more teams. One of the things that I added in the budget, and if you have any questions on that, was the cost of paying what we pay dynamic. We up to 24 boats is what the fee we're now paying, $12,272. I think I know it by heart. If we get more teams, we can go up to 35 boats for only $3,000 more. So we feel the number of sponsors, in addition to the number of teams that we will have, that's where our additional revenue will come in. I have this is our packet that they're being prepped to go out with your sponsorship. I hope that you will give us the $5,000 we've asked for. We've had some policemen and firemen come up and said, I'm going to be after the city. We want to have a fireman's boat and a police boat. So, you feel free to do what you want to with those boats. But you have to have 8 women in a boat. So that's another requirement, in case you don't remember that from last year. But as I say, the decorations, the tents, I think you saw the pictures, and you can agree, everybody had a good time. Any questions?
You want to have any questions for Mary Kay?
I have a question for you, Mr. President.
Sure.
Won't this fall under the committee to give this out as tourism fund?
Committee?
The committee that's giving out all the
No,
stuff?
that's only for
Fishing
fishing
committee?
tournaments.
Fishing tournaments only?
That's only for fishing
Okay.
tournaments. Yes.
In fact, your wife was helping us today to make a good list of who we were going to, additional people to send out to on
I'm excited about it, and I want everybody else to get excited. And so, Mr. Chief of Police and Chief of Fire, I need y'all having a boat this year. I'm excited about
One thing,
it.
if people ask you, for instance, the winning team in Decatur last year, and I assume they'll be up near the top, is a State Farm insurance agency. It doesn't, they recruit, they go out, like the football teams. I don't think they pay anybody, but they are recruiting people to be in their boat, They're stacking their deck, is what, I guess maybe what you would say. So people think it has to be a business.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. We
Yeah.
also will be looking
Chiefs,
for.
there'll be no NIL deals for your players.
But we also will be looking for more people in the Alabama-Auburn boat. I had to bring in 3 Auburn. My grandson goes to Auburn, and he's 6'3", and I had to bring in he and 2 of his friends, so they had enough for the Auburn boat. But there wasn't enough food in the VIP tent for him, so I had to give him $100, or at least Gene gave him $100. And he went down to Jefferson's and fed his 2 friends. They ate here too, but, like I said. But it's a fun day event, and I think we had good evaluation afterwards. And thank you so much for
Thank you.
allowing
It was
me.
a lot of fun. It was fun.
So we'll go ahead and put that on next week's meeting. Okay. Number 2 tonight, a request from 3 Arts Club for King Caldwell Park. Ms. Graham.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I am Rachel Graham, and I'm here on behalf of Scottsboro 3 Arts Club to kindly request your support in giving back to a place that has meant so much to us in our community, King Caldwell Park. The purpose of our club is to serve our community by stimulating interest in all activities contributing to a better way of life. For the past 51 years, our organization has had the privilege of hosting our annual fundraising event, Art Sunday, in King Caldwell Park. This park has been much more than just a location for our event. It's been a gathering place, a space where families come together, children play, and the community connects. It has served us well, and now we want to return the favor. Scottsboro 3 Arts Club has raised $60,000, and we are seeking $60,000 in matching funds to help provide much-needed new playground equipment for this park. This investment is not just about installing a playground, it's about ensuring that King Caldwell Park continues to be a safe, welcoming, and vibrant space for families and generations to come. Our community recognizes the need for a safe, engaging, and accessible environment for children with disabilities as well. Currently, there's families in our area that can struggle to find local play spaces to accommodate mobility challenges and sensory needs. By developing this playground, we will ensure that every child, regardless of ability, has a place to engage in physical activity, socialization with peers, and develop critical motor and cognitive skills. To maximize our impact, we are actively applying for grants to help fund this project, but as of now, the outcome is still yet to be determined. Your support in these matching of the funds would show a shared commitment in investing in our community's future. It would demonstrate that together we prioritize giving our children and families a place to play, explore, and create lifelong memories. This isn't just about dollars, it's about community partnership. The same way this park is giving us a home for our event for over 5 decades, we now have the opportunity to invest in its future. We're prepared to do our part, and we hope the city will join us in this effort. Thank you for this time and consideration. I look forward to your support in making this vision a reality for King Caldwell Park and the families who enjoy it. And you are also given a booklet tonight with a couple of rough number estimates and just what we envision for our playground that we'd like to have at King Caldwell. So thank you.
Anyone have any questions?
Is the $60,000 the total cost?
No, sir. That is what we are at with what we've raised through our Sunday right now. It's going to cost a lot more than that. That's why we're asking for a matching.
That's what you're asking for?
Yeah, a matching foundation, a matching donation.
To match.
Match our 60.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these numbers, and, you know, the ADA accessible, you've got down here 20,000. I know that we spent 80,000 on that one piece at the Retcom.
Yeah.
And so that's, you know, I just want to make sure you're aware that some of these numbers, and 60, asking for 60 may not be enough from the city, just to be honest.
Okay.
I appreciate what y'all have raised so far, and we need to step up whatever else needs to be done. This is something we've talked about for years, redoing the park, and I really appreciate what you've already done.
Yeah, of course.
And like she said, we are searching for grants too, and I'm really excited about the way we're trying to move forward to helping all the parks.
Yes.
Is this something that we would have to wait till the next budget? Our excess sales tax is about shot.
Correct. But there may be other money we could pull from to get this done if we have enough to get it started. Because it's not something that's going to happen overnight. This will probably roll into next budget year before it's finished.
Yes.
So there's other avenues.
Yeah. And we're not stopping at 60 either with the club.
Yes.
No.
We're going to keep going. Yeah.
So you're
It's a
saying
starting point.
it's 60 now, but you still want us to match, right?
Right. We'll be back. Okay.
All right. Anyone else have any questions? I'm going to move this to May 12th. I don't want to put it on next week yet, just to give us enough time to look at numbers and look at money revenue and look at ways that we can go that route. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, number 3 tonight, tourism grant application for Scottsboro Jackson Rescue Squad. Mr. Teague?
Thank goodness he's not on call.
Hey, sometimes you have to have a pinch hitter, right? For ones of you who don't know me, my name's Eddie Tigg. I'm the captain of the rescue squad here in Scottsboro. We'd like to apply for the tourism grant this year. As you know, these funds we use to do our advertisement. We buy T-shirts for all our contestants and help support the program to get it along. This is our 14th year of this. Don't seem like it's been that many years, but we did a rodeo for 21 or 22 years. So I do want to comment on the dragon boat races. We helped with that last year. Those people done a wonderful job, especially to be their first year.
Yes.
How big that event was, and how we had a good time down there. And luckily, our services wasn't needed at all. We just kind of hung out. But again, thank y'all for listening to me, and I appreciate your support on this.
Anyone have any questions on this?
No, I think this is a very valuable service that the rescue squad gives to the city and the county. And I've been under the gun with these guys, working night and day, and they don't get paid for it. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just want to comment. I know this is one of the two tournaments we did not put with that committee
Right.
because we wanted to keep that in-house. This and the casting and catching, because we wanted to make sure this definitely gets sponsored every year. And anyone who's had a family member or a child like myself that needed this rescue squad to find them, you realize how much they do for you in the community. And we just want to say thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
We'll put that on next week's meeting. Number 4, discuss the planning department job descriptions. The mayor was supposed to go over that tonight, but he's not here, so I'll kind of shoot through this. In your packet, the only thing is the first job description on the city engineer. The second page, Mr. Kimmer, you go over the wording on that. What's going to change?
Notice on page 2, I would recommend a change to read as follows. The position supervises the employees in the building inspection department and is a building official / building inspection officer for the purposes of the ordinances and codes of the city of Scottsboro. The change needs to be made, I think, that way is because there is a flood ordinance that refers to the person in this position as a building official. There is another ordinance where this person would be, who would be in charge is a building inspection officer. So to meet those two requirements, we have to exercise a little bit of bad grammar and define it that way also to make sure there's no question.
So saying that, I guess I should go over the reason for this is Mr. Moses is retiring this week or next week. And so this week, this Friday. And so with that being said, the mayor is wanting to move the building officer or chief building inspector to underneath the city engineering job. And instead of having 2 inspectors and a chief, we'd have 3 inspectors with the chief part falling underneath the city engineer. So you'll see in your packet all the different job descriptions and the way they would be written up following that. So if anyone has any questions for me on that, I'll go over the best I can. No questions, and we'll move that to next week's meeting. All right, number 5, discuss the budget amendment for the pool heaters for the rec department. Mr. Fanning.
Good evening. Speaking of the dragon boat races and recruitment, I was recruited. I did not get an NIL deal. We did not finish in the top 3 either, so maybe there's a correlation
I'm going to
there.
get one next year.
Yeah. So maybe I need to get on the right side instead of the left side. I'm not sure. Everyone should have a packet. Should look something like this. Leading off, we've got what we send out through the RecCom as far as what the day-by-day temperatures are. Right now, we're at 83.5. We try to stay between 83 and 85 in our range, okay? That's from a day-to-day operations. When we have a swim meet, USA requires that that's down from 78 to 82. So part of the issue that we have right now as you flip the page. In January of 2023, we purchased 2 residential units, which are 400,000 BTU residential units. So they work in tandem together. Right now, we're just operating with one. So anytime we drop that temperature down, or the weather conditions are a little bit cooler, that one unit has a lot of difficulty keeping the temperature up, or being able to bring it back up within that 83 to 85 degree range. And as you can see, these units only lasted a little over 2.5 years, or not quite 2.5 years. Next page, you've got a replacement from Anders, who we've used the past couple times that we've purchased them. Ms. Bradford's here. She may be able to tell us how many we've gone through in the past 8 years or so, but it's been about every 2 years we're going through these things. So I have a saying, you can either deal with the fruit or you can deal with the root. All right, so the fruit is we keep doing the same thing every 2 years, and this is what we end up paying. Again, these are residential units, so I wanted to look at a commercial unit. Can we upgrade and save money in the long term? The next sheet you have in your packet is from Mr. Anders of Anders Pool Company. He quotes there of a 1 million BTU unit, which is a commercial unit. Quite a bit more pricey there at $23,600, but that's one unit replacing 2 units, okay, with more than double the amount of BTUs. Okay, your last page there will just kind of tell you a little bit about that particular unit. Mr. Ashford mentioned kind of where we're at as far as budget concerned, so we're just open to discussion of what fits. Right now we're at 1 unit. If that 1 unit were to go down, this 83.5 that you see would go down to probably 81 to 80. You'd probably hear some phone calls. I'll probably have some very uncomfortable conversations with people that come to the front of the Retcom, but we just do the best that we can. So if you can, just consider those 2 options, and if there's other options that you know of that we can discuss, I'm open to that.
Okay. Anyone have any questions about the 2 options? No questions? We'll put that on next week's meeting. And number 6 tonight, announce Commercial Development Authority vacancies. Ms. Phillips.
Carrie Bradford, Bishop Dawson, and Mark Chapman's terms on the Commercial Development Authority expired March 2025. These are 4-year terms. Anyone interested should apply in writing to the City Clerk's office by 4:30 p.m. on Friday, May 9th, 2025.
Okay, thank you. That'll conclude the meeting tonight. There's no delegations, and we'll go to reports. The mayor's absent, so we'll start with Mr. Frederick.
Oh, well, I can't say.
Oh, come on.
No, I can't.
All right. Mr. Ashford.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Oliver.
I don't have anything, but I do want to say thank you to 3 Arts. I do have something. I want to say thank you to 3 Arts for coming out. Thank you for Dragon Boats coming out. Thank you for everybody coming out and supporting those things that we've had throughout the week. We had a lot of things going on this past weekend, so thank you for coming out and supporting the community. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dahl?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Thank you. Just remind everyone there'll be a meeting next Monday, April 28th. And that being said, appreciate everyone coming out. We're adjourned.
All there is to it.